And so we're making a strawberry cheesecake, and it's an anabolic cheesecake. It's gonna be very low in calories and it's high in protein. This is a recipe you cannot miss. Coach Greg, and I'm here with Eric Janicki, and I'm standing on some stilts so that I can be almost his height. Have you baked before?
I have baked before.
That's gonna help because I don't know what I'm doing in the kitchen. Remember, there's no rules in the Anabolic Kitchen. We're gonna learn how to do this. We're making it right from the cookbook 3.0. And so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the crust. After that, we're gonna make the filling part of it, and then we're gonna make the jam that goes on the top.
All right, cool. I'm known for my cake, but not that type of cake.
Not that kind of cake. Check out this guy. 100 grams of digestive biscuits, and it's just these kinds, okay? There's different kinds you can get. They're like these little cookies that your parents may have had when you were a kid. They taste delicious. Want to add that to the blender over there?
Blend it up like this?
We could basically beat it to death.
It's actually like halfway there, I'm not gonna lie.
It would probably take a long time. We're gonna add it to the blender. Blend it harder than last time.
Always.
Maybe we only need 10 seconds to blending. It says 30 seconds, but it's already half blended. Next up is the butter. We're using light butter to save on some calories. So we need 60 grams of the light butter. It's gonna microwave it for about 15 seconds, make it liquid. Wonderful, it's melted now. You can add it into the blender. Okay, next up, you have to prepare this, and because it's gonna stick, you wanna put in some parchment paper, and so you have to find a way to basically cut this inside. You could put it in here like that, draw a circle, or if you have some intelligence, you can put it on top like that, and you can play arts and crafts and cut after, and basically you cut around, and so you can get your kids involved. They can cut around the circle, and voila, done.
How many kids do you have, Greg?
What's that?
How many kids do you have?
I have 0 kids.
0 kids.
0 kids. But I was a school teacher, so I know what they're like.
Okay.
It's a lot of work.
All right, let's put that crust in there.
You then have to pour this into the pan.
Use your spatula. There you go.
It's always good to cook with a partner. In case you don't know what to do, they can help give you some
I don't know about you
instructions.
guys, but I feel like the crust is sometimes the best part of the recipe. I feel like I could just, like, if we bake that, I can just eat that.
Now that it's been formed, we have to put it in the oven for 10 minutes at 355 degrees Fahrenheit.
355, guys, it's very important because it's 356, it's gonna burn. 354, it's gonna be undercooked.
More precise than last time. And so Eric is gonna put this in the oven, and it's gonna be in there for 10 minutes.
Coach, Mike wants me to put my bun in his oven, so let's see how this goes.
10 minutes later.
Now that we have the crust done, it's time to get into the filling. And so up next, we're gonna add Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, and cream cheese, and we're gonna mix it up until it's a smooth and consistent pile of goop.
We're just gonna start with this 120 grams of cream cheese.
And one thing you'll notice is all of these are the low-fat versions. You don't need to use low-fat. This is because we're trying to make the foods lower in calories to help you lose weight. But if you don't want low-fat stuff and you want to add in some extra calories, you can handle it, then use whatever you want. And some of you are probably thinking cottage cheese, that's not gonna taste good. You don't like cottage cheese, but once it's blended in, you won't notice it at all. Cottage cheese, super high in protein, very good quality source of protein. And so highly recommend you add in cottage cheese. A lot of your recipes, you can use cottage cheese, Greek yogurt. These things add so much extra protein, and it's not really high on calories.
Cottage cheese, as youngins say, slaps.
And so he's gonna whisk it together. It's gonna take him a couple minutes. If you're weaker, don't have a strong arm, might take you a few more minutes. And so he's gonna whisk it until it's nice, smooth, and consistent. All right, now it's time to add in the remaining ingredients. And so first up, we're gonna add in the lemon zest. So all you do is you take the lemon or lime, and you can scrape it up and down like you're grating cheese. And that gets the zest. It's gonna add some flavor. And it really doesn't matter what you use. You could actually use an orange peel or anything you want, as long as it's citrusy, and you're gonna add that to your bowl. Next up, the juice. We're using lime juice. It's only a half a tablespoon. It's gonna add that to the bowl.
This is gonna mean we're not natural after this?
Not even close. If you have this recipe, you're not natural. Natty card revoked. You get so jacked.
There's way too much juice in this.
Juicing harder than last time. And in the recipe book, it says the Lucky Charms protein powder. I experimented with various ones. That one's the one that tasted the most, but for this one, we're gonna use strawberry cheesecake. And so really just experiment. You might just wanna use vanilla. Whatever one you feel tastes the best, use that one.
Gains going in. Let's go. Beautiful.
Lots of protein, and not only that, it helps make it thicker. If you didn't add this protein powder and you did it without it, it would be very soupy. It wouldn't be as thick as you'd need because you want that thickness.
Do not use just like straight up whey isolate or hydrolyzed whey or just straight up whey protein. It's gonna be disgusting because it'll just be like a runny soup. You need something with some body to it, like Greg's Amazing Protein. It's a blend. The casein is very important to give it that thickness.
Yeah, you want the thickness. It's all about the thickness.
It's all about
Is it
the
not?
thickness.
And so when you get protein powder, a lot of people make these recipes, right? Oh, it didn't really turn out, and they're using their own protein. They're using whatever whey protein they have. It's not the same thing. You need certain proteins to cook with, and if there's no casein in it, it's probably going to be a lot thinner. And if you go through the book, it explains all these things. Everything is laid out for you, and so try and get the book.
This is gonna make it even thicker, right?
Are you aware of Fibro?
I'm not. What is
Okay,
Fibro?
so Fibro is something that we created. It's a lower calorie alternative. It's half the sweetness of sugar, and it's going to make it a bit thicker and a bit sweeter. Now, if you don't have Fibro, which you can get on my website, use Swerve, which is absolutely delicious. It's not going to make it as thick, but you can also use Swerve. And if it's not thick enough, you can add in some guar gum or xanthan gum, just a pinch of it, like 1/8 of a teaspoon. That'll make it thicken up. It'll keep it together and keep it from running. Because when you make a cheesecake, you don't want it to be liquidy. You want it to stick together so that you can eat it on your plate. And so by adding a little bit of guar gum, it's going to make it have that thickness that you want. It's all about the thickness.
I think that's the recurring theme of today.
I feel like I'm doing a Will Tennyson video, all the innuendos. And so he's gonna mix this together as long as you need to, until it's smooth and consistent. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It's so tight.
It was definitely tight in there, Greg.
Tighter than last time.
Look at that. Look at that.
All right, and so that's gonna be the base of this cheesecake. You need it. You can't skip out on this. I mean, if you didn't do that, it would basically be making like almost a pudding. You then have to let it cool down. You can put it in the fridge. You want it to get cool, because if you put the second layer on, it's gonna melt. You don't want it to be hot. So just leave it sit until it's cool.
What are we gonna do while we wait?
I used to look upon myself as rational and strong, and love was just a word in silly songs. But from that
We are back. We are jamming now. We are creating the jam that's going on top of the cheesecake. So we have here is some frozen strawberries. We have exactly
2 cups.
2 cups of frozen strawberries.
260 grams.
260 grams. We also have 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. What we're gonna do is we're gonna add these strawberries to our saucepan on low heat and let these start breaking down with that lemon juice. All right, now we have the Swerve sugar that we're gonna be adding. We've been letting this cook down for a few minutes. We started to kind of mash it, but now we're gonna add this and we're gonna keep that mixing process going.
Spank
Yeah,
it,
spank
as Will would say. It's not broken, we're all right. And so next up, he's mixing in the xanthan gum into the lemon juice. He's got 1 tablespoon in there.
All right, jam is complete. Looking amazing. Now you just gotta put it in the fridge, let it cool before adding it to the rest of your cheesecake mixture.
Please don't try to do it right away. It's liquid. If you put it on a cheesecake, it's just gonna melt everything. Absolutely important to let it cool down first.
2,000 years later.
And so we've just taken this out of the fridge. It hasn't been quite sitting for 2 hours, but we're doing it anyway. We're short on time. We gotta hit the gym.
Gotta get to the gym.
You just pour this all over the top, spread it out, and then you just put it in the freezer for a couple hours. And we've already made this the other night, actually last night. And so as soon as this is done, we're gonna show you the final product. Look at that. Is this the food porn scene?
It is.
That looks absolutely amazing. And so we're just gonna put this in the freezer and let it freeze solid. And you might be thinking, yeah, but it's gonna ruin it. It won't ruin it. Keep it in the freezer and take it out and eat it as is.
1 million, zillion, jillion, dillion, cotillion times later.
And so this is the final product. It's all been cut out. And so once you come out of the freezer, you basically would have to let it thaw a little bit, cut it out in separate portions. And so we have 8 slices, and get ready for the macros. Each slice has only 166 calories, 8 grams of fat, 16 grams of carbs, 2 grams of fiber, and 12 grams of protein. I usually eat 2 at a time. So it's only 330 calories.
I'd probably eat this whole thing.
You could eat the whole thing, 1,300 calories, 92 grams of protein. And so depending on what you want to eat, depending on the macros, you can eat more or less of this, some recipes have more protein than others, but this is certainly a recipe that's a lot lower in calories than regular cheesecake. This would probably have 5,000 calories if it was a regular cheesecake, and you're just gonna get fatty in that. You can eat as much as you want, you're not getting fat.
A few inches later.
And so it's fresh out of the microwave, it's melted a little bit down, it's ready to eat. I'll let you take the first bite.
You want to feed it to me?
Sure, let's see. Big, small, let's see.
Big for sure. Wow.
It's not bad.
It's better than not bad, Greg.
And so you eat 5,200 calories a day?
About that, yeah.
And so you might be thinking cheesecake's unhealthy, but you know the ingredients that went in. So basically you're eating cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. I mean, how is that going to be bad for you?
Let's see, Greg, what do you think?
I love it. I think it needs to defrost a little bit more.
I think so. What is?
We didn't microwave it quite long enough. I need around it.
How's that bite? I think we
love
gotta
it.
try all the bites.
I honestly don't like cheesecake. For like an actual cheesecake, I don't like it. Like when I'm biting it, I find it's too powerful. I can't handle much of it. And so this, to me, I like more than a regular cheesecake. Plus, it's got less calories, so you can actually eat a lot of it. I'm a volume eater.
Well, me too.
I like to eat a big, massive portion. I don't want like a little bit of stuff. So with this kind of cheesecake, you can just keep eating.
It's really good, guys. Try this recipe out. Try all of Greg's recipes out. This guy's a genius. This was an amazing recipe, guys.
Eric Janicki on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You gotta go and follow this guy. He's very intelligent. I'm talking to him off camera. He knows what he's doing. I highly encourage you to go check out his channel, give him a follow. He's training for his IPP Pro card. Look at the size of this guy, and I'm on stilts. Interested in Cookbook 3.0 or any of the books, the supplements, you can go and click the link in the description and use code Greg. That's gonna give you 10% off. And until next time, we're out.